Hey guys, I'm Tegan.
I'm Casey.
And we're Far Out Stoke, and here's our long-awaited truck camper tour.
What we have here is a 1989 Western Wilderness truck camper. It's mounted on a 2019 Ford F-250, and we've been living in this thing for about 6 months now.
So we found her on Facebook Marketplace in June 2023 and picked her up in San Luis Obispo. Prior to truck life, we used to live life in San Diego, in Cardiff by the Sea. We loved living there, but after about a year of living in the same place, we decided that it was time for a change. Moving out of San Diego was actually terrifying because we were flipping our whole world upside down. We were leaving friends, we were leaving family. We really loved where we lived in San Diego, so it was kind of hard to let it go. So if you're wanting a timeline, we gave our month's notice on June 1st. We didn't have a truck and we didn't have a camper. So we got the truck about halfway through June and we found the camper on Facebook Marketplace maybe a week before we got the truck.
We were super stoked when we got the truck. It was a really big purchase for us, and it was only days after that where we drove to San Luis Obispo to pick up this truck camper that had yet to be renovated. We wanted to make our renovation as easy as we could as soon as we got to Arizona, and so we managed to rip out all of the systems and appliances that we weren't planning on keeping in the camper before we left Arizona.
So come the last week of June, we throw all of our belongings into a storage locker, sell what we don't want, and the rest of that was in here when this thing was in shambles. All of our stuff was piled everywhere. It was a disaster. But we made it to Arizona, to Casey's parents' house. We were able to organize everything and renovate it for the month of July.
Overall, it took about 25 days of renovating the camper. We pretty much worked non-stop the whole entire time. We were able to renovate the camper on my parents' friends and now our friends' property, Paul and Tanya. We're very grateful that they were able to let us drop the camper on their property. We were able to use their tools, and Paul is a very knowledgeable man and helped us with the renovation himself.
It wouldn't have been built that quickly if we weren't able to have that space, nor the tools, or the knowledge to build the camper. So 25 days ripping this thing apart from pretty much bare bones to this was huge. 25 days was fast. We were mobbing.
So every single day was spent in over 100-degree weather as we sweated our way through the build. There was very much real blood, sweat, and tears put into this build throughout those 25 days, and we're really stoked on how it turned out.
So let's get into the tour.
Starting with our electrical system, we ripped out the old 1989 electrical system that was in here before and rewired all of our new appliances and built our new electrical system from scratch. What we have here is a 200 amp hour lithium battery charged by 300 watts of solar on the roof, as well as a 60 amp alternator charger that charges while we drive. We used Renovated components for all the main components, including our inverter, our solar panels, and the charge controller. The plumbing system running throughout the whole entire camper is basically a hybrid between the old and the new. We have new components including the water pump, the filter, the sink, as well as a brand new propane run hot water heater. So
this little couch corner might be one of my favorite parts of the camper. It's where we spend most of our time if we're not sleeping or cooking in the kitchen. And so we have a lagoon table here. This kind of swivels all around and it's nice for having guests in here. We've had like 6 or 7 people in here, all just hanging out, eating chicken tortilla soup and playing Rummikub. So I really love being able to host people in here. That's like one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, this corner is great. These curtains were made by my mom, Casey's mom, and Tanya, 3 amazing, incredible ladies because I do not know how to sew. All the cabinets are original. We just basically painted them and they honestly could probably use some more paint right about now because like I said, we've been living in it for the past 6 months. This is where all the camera gear lives. Usually the cameras are situated right under here. We also have all of our SD cards and hard drives and all that kind of fun stuff. Over here we got our towels and linens, but up here is where we store all of our toiletries. These cabinets are great. Nothing really ever falls out of them, thankfully. And the only thing that's a little iffy right now is one of the hinges needs to be repaired. One thing that we kept adding after we got onto the road is lots of hooks. For some reason, we didn't think about adding hooks when we were first doing the build. So we've added these 3. We use them all the time, clearly. They're kind of always a mess, but you always need a door hook. And right here we have the bathroom. We redid the shower in here as well as the sink, but right now it is winter and our skis and our snowboards, and this room is just, it's just gear storage right now. So if you want to take a look, you can, but she's pretty packed. We have to dump our trash, and this is where the skis and the snowboards live.
Shower.
So in the summer, we used the indoor shower, but we honestly used the outdoor shower more often than not, just because showering outside makes more sense and it doesn't fill up our black tank. What we do use pretty frequently is the toilet, and that is definitely my favorite part about having this bathroom. In terms of dumping, we usually have to dump about every 3 to 7 days, depending on how often we use it and how many dishes we're doing and that whole shindig. We just find the dump station and plug in the little hose thingy and dump everything. It's not that hard. And for those who have been asking about where Moose goes to the bathroom, I know it's a very hot topic. This is Moose's litter box. It's right under here, and yeah, she has her little litter box down there. We change it about once every day or maybe once every 2 days just to keep it clean for her. And then this here is our Starlink cable. Right now we have Starlink on the roof. We just don't have the router plugged in. So the Starlink cable just goes through a little hole that's underneath by her litter box. And when we're done with it, we just pull it through, take Starlink off the roof, and throw it in the truck. And now for the kitchen. This is honestly one of my other favorite parts of the camper. Even though I said that about the living room situation and the bathroom, I just love everything about this camper. This oven is great. It really makes it feel like a home in here. We can link it in the description below. It works great. I love making cookies in here. I'm gonna make a pie in here later this week. One of my favorite parts about having it just makes it feel so homey. This countertop is a butcher block that we stained, and my stepdad Ryan sealed it with epoxy. We love this countertop. He did a great job. We got this really nice big deep sink here. I love this style of faucet. Over here is where we got our water pump, which turns on, and then we have water. Very nice. And this is the switch for the hot water heater, which runs outside, and it takes maybe 2 to 5 minutes to warm up, and then we have instant hot water, which is also great. Up here is our pantry space. We can fit a lot of stuff in here. As you can see, it does move around, so it gets kind of messy pretty quick, but the cabinets are really deep, which we really appreciate because we like to stock up on food so that we don't have to go to the store every single day. So right here used to be where the oven vent fan was for the old oven. We obviously took that out because we didn't really need it and it didn't work anymore. It was old and kind of smelled weird. So we turned this into like a little cabinet, and this is sort of my nightstand. It has, we got some incense, got all my vitamins, chapstick, earrings, all just nightstand goodies. Up here is more kitchen storage. We've got our water boiler, a NutriBullet, cups, candles. One of the things I love about this camper is just how much storage there is. There really isn't a lack of storage. We've been able to fit everything in here pretty well for 2 people and a cat, which I really appreciate. Right here is our 12-volt USB power station. This is a light switch for the LED under cabinet lights. These are really nice when you're cooking. You got really nice light under here. We use it all the time. And our magnetic knife strip. I've heard some people say that these aren't good to have in a van because the magnet will get worse over time, but they have never fallen off once, so knocking on wood, because I love the way this thing looks. And right here we have our fridge. This is the Dometic CRX 110, and we love it. The old fridge that actually used to be in here was from up here to down here, so to make up for the space, because we could not find a fridge that was this big, they just don't make fridges in those dimensions anymore, we added this cabinet, which is super useful for storing pots and pans and bowls and the cast iron and everything. It's a very deep cabinet, and that's just where all of our pots and pans go. We love this fridge. It keeps things really cold. We've never had any issues, and we also have a little freezer, which I love. Also, once again, things move around a lot, so it's kind of a disaster right now, but she works.
It looks really bad.
I know. And then right here we have some hanging closet space, which when we moved into a camper or a van, that's one of the things that we thought that we weren't going to have, but luckily we were able to pull it off and create a little hanging rack in here. It does get pretty crowded in here because we try to keep all of our clothes away at all times. We've got pants, socks, hats, and then some hanging stuff, and then this is where the Starlink rotor lives when we are driving so that it doesn't roll around anywhere. Got a little mirror here. I love that thing. And then under here we have our water tank. I want to say it's 50 to 60 gallons. It holds a lot and it lasts us a long time. It's really nice having it under this bench because we use this bench all the time. We'll sit here, we put things here. It's nice to kind of use this as like a little workspace. And then under here we have some more storage for like toilet paper, paper towels, and that is also where the water pump lives. So the water pump is under there, and we have access to the water tank through here when we take out the paper towels and the toilet paper. And then right here is our fuse box. So it's nice having it right here out in the open. We can see if there's any issues with anything. And behind this fuse box, we also have the solar charge controller and the inverter. Yeah, that's where that lives, behind there. In here, we have our coffee corner. This is honestly my favorite part of the whole build, even though I've said that like 5 times now. I love coffee, and having all of our coffee making supplies right here in this corner is great. This is where we keep our plates and our bowls and cross our fingers that nothing breaks, even though things have broke. This is our junk drawer. Everybody has one. You have to have one for all the miscellaneous things in your lives. We got a capo, we got charging cords, pens, soap. You know how it goes. We have our utensils, we have more charging cords, some twinkle lights, a freaking tape measure. Yeah, just random things to put in the drawer. This actually used to be where a radio thing was when we first got the camper, and we didn't have enough time to install a drawer, so we just put this little base frame on it, and now it is our sunglasses storage. So that's where all of our sunnies live. I'm telling you guys, the storage here just never ends. Up here, we have more storage for Casey's clothes and some other random things. Just nice deep cabinets, which we really appreciate. We also painted pretty much everything in here, so we redid these upper cabinets with a new fresh coat of white paint, and then we did everything that you see that's green, we painted that green, because before it was just white. And we added these cedar slats to the ceiling and stained them to match the countertop and everything else. Having a slatted ceiling was really important to me because I wanted it to feel homey and feel like a little cabin on wheels, and the cedar slats definitely add that. And this is what she looks like from the outside. This is our hot water heater. This is a ladder that we climb up to get to the roof and clean off the solar panels. These are our jacks. This is where our propane lives. It's on the outside, which is really nice. It's in a contained compartment, so it doesn't leak on the inside, which is great. We've never had any issues with that. This is the back of the fridge. It is insulated, and we sealed it because we don't really need to get to the back of it anymore because it's not an old fridge like it was when we first got it. This is our water fill, and this is our truck. Good old Stony. When we first got this thing, the outside was actually all white with a blue pinstripe, and it said Western Wilderness on it in multiple different spots. And so we basically sanded off all the decals, which took maybe a couple days. It was a lot of work. And we painted the outside this green and white color. In here is where our alternator charger lives. This is access to the back of our oven, as well as access to our diesel heater. This is where our hoses live to dump our tanks. We dump our tanks from this little hole down here. And this is where our outdoor shower lives, and this is also where we have access to our hot water heater. Here is our external diesel tank for our diesel heater. This was kind of the only option we had when choosing where to put our diesel heater external tank. And it runs through here, up through a hole, and this is the exhaust. It works well, we haven't had any issues with it, and it's kept us pretty warm in 5-degree weather, so we love it. And lastly, up here we have our bed. It is a queen size mattress, plenty of room for both of us. We have a really nice skylight that was actually already here when we got the camper. We have these nice windows, we have some windows on both sides, so we get really nice cross breeze in the summertime when this fan is on. And we have more clothes storage up there. So the right side is all mine and the left side is all Casey's, which is really nice to have some separation and have our own sides for clothes. So when we initially got this camper, I thought it was gonna be really claustrophobic up here because of how close the ceiling is to the bed, but we've actually gotten really used to it, and now it just feels like a really cozy little tree fort. But this is where our clothes are. Just kind of shove everything in there. Fits my whole closet. These used to be LED strips that were mounted underneath the cabinets, but this little monster tore them down on both sides. So now we have no more LED strips. Not a care in the world.
Ooh, those look fun.
And that's pretty much our home. We love this thing so much, and like Casey said, we've poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to it. It's great. It's been our home for the past 6 months, and who knows how much longer we'll live in it, but we don't really have an end date anytime soon. She's kicking it, we're kicking it, and we love it in here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate the support, and if you guys have any questions related to anything truck camper or road life, please let us know. We're always happy to help out and would love to help others get out there to live this lifestyle.
Make sure to like and subscribe and tune in to watch more of our videos.
We're super stoked you're here, and over and out from Far Out Stoke.
You.
Wait, let me get her. Catch of the day. What was that? That was like a half-hour.